Soobity boobity bow.
Soobity boobity bow.
Soodly doodly day.
Soodly doodly day.
Soodly boodly 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 boop doodly bop doodly bop frabbly bopply bopply boodly doodly 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 dow.
We're doing the mask.
Hello, hello, and welcome to the Royds Review Podcast. I'm Rob.
And I'm Andy.
And we are back once again talking about 1994's The Mask. Andy, how are you, I ask?
That's good stuff, Robbie.
Thanks.
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm assuming you've seen The Mask before.
Not only have I seen it, but I've seen it multiple times. It was like my favorite movie when I was a kid. What about you?
I have definitely seen this multiple times. I have not seen it in a while.
Same.
But I have absolutely seen this before. Let's get this out of the way right now. Task, ask, flask, bask, cask, lask, mask, a task, multitask, subtask, microtask, face mask, gask, pask, rask, brask.
I like how Mask was in there. That's just the title of the movie.
Did I say mask?
You did.
I did. Well, it was M-A-S-C, like masculine.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking for any more. I'm on a website called wordhippo.com.
Nice.
Yeah. Usually I go to Rhyme Zone. Tarask. Task. What do you think? You think anyone's still listening?
God bless them. God bless them if they are, you know.
That's fair. Andy, I've asked how are you doing. Andy, have you ever read any of the Mask comics before?
I did not too long ago. I want to say like maybe 7 years ago I tried, but I was doing it online, maybe not legally, and they were out of order. And rather than like decode that, I just read like two, and then it was out of order. I said, all right, I guess I'm not reading this.
The police are on their way.
No, Robbie, I can't go back to the slammer.
I have not read any of the comics before, but what I've heard about is that they are much gorier and bloodier than this.
Yeah, it's very different. It's like whoever wears the mask becomes like a murderous psychopath.
That's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I like the art. It was very 90s.
Andy, what year did The Mask come out?
I believe it was the year of our Megazord, 1994.
Andy, what were the top films of the year of our Megazord, 1994?
94?
I forced a rhyme in there. I'm Dr. Seuss.
Well, I'm going to start at a certain spot, and then I'm going to go back to the top.
That's weird. That's a weird way to do that.
Well, number 17 is Ace Ventura. And I say that because Jim Carrey had a hell of a year. Number 17 is Ace Ventura, Pet Detective with $72 million.
Spade Ventura.
Oh, my goodness.
It's like another card.
Yeah, I guess.
Jesse Ventura. Jesse the Body Ventura.
There you go.
Pet Detective.
Huh.
I'm going to run for the governor of Minnesota after I save all these animals.
Yeah, but there's also like a weird conspiracy with the animals. Yeah, he's real deep into that stuff. Number 6 is Dumb and Dumber. With $127 million.
I believe it turns Dumb and Dumber. There are B's in there, Andy.
Stupid. Robbie. Number 5 is the Flintstones with $130 million. The Santa Claus, number 4, previous episode, check it out, $144 million.
I know we make jokes and stuff, but for whatever reason, when you said the Flintstones, I almost immediately did a Yogi Bear impression.
I mean, that's pretty much Barney Rubble. you know.
But I was doing it thinking I was being Fred Flintstone talking to Barney because I was going to say, hey, Barney. And I was like, that doesn't make sense.
That's not it. Number 3 is True Lies with $146 million. Number 2 is previous episode Forrest Gump with $329 million. And number 1 is The Lion King with a whopping $763 million.
Wow.
Gosh darn. Bro.
That is the circle of life.
Yeah, and it moves a stall, Robbie.
The Lion King was the top movie of 94.
Yeah, by far.
That's wild.
And this is worldwide box office, so domestic, it was not the top grossing film.
What was the top grossing film domestically?
Looks like it was Forrest Gump. Previous episode, check it out.
Forrest Hump.
Yeah.
Forrest Lump.
Pulp Fiction's in there, too. It was a big year for movies.
I talked to my doctor because I found a lump.
Forrest Lump, very good.
Thank you.
That's very good. The Mask is got to be on here somewhere. I don't see it.
Should we talk about The Mask?
Yeah, at some point, probably, right?
Okay, I'll wait till you're ready.
It was number 9 with $119 million.
That's interesting because you started at 17 and yet somehow missed 9.
I did. I missed it. Reading's hard, Robbie.
Yeah, I can tell. So we open in Edge City. Woo, I need a release.
Is that really the name of the town?
Yeah.
City?
Mhm.
Wow.
That's why all these guys are goons.
Nice.
Divers are digging up a chest. A pipe falls, and I'm assuming it kills the guy that's under the water digging up the chest.
Yeah, that was a little ambiguous.
Yeah. But it doesn't really matter. It's just a setup for the titular mask to float to the surface. Stanley Ipkiss is at work. He's bought concert tickets for him and a coworker. She wants to bring her friend, but the tickets are sold out. He's being such a nice guy. But this is a weird situation. He says, I'm wearing her down, which is always bad. It's always bad when a guy's like, I'm wearing her down.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, she clearly asked for these concert tickets, judging by this interaction.
Yeah, it sounds like they talked about how much they like whoever's playing. And he was like, oh, why don't we go? And she was like, well, I don't really like you like that.
But that is not implied in this conversation. Like, it's implied that they agreed to go to the concert together. And then she was like, hey, I have a friend, so you want to get a third ticket? And he was like, no. Like, this was a plan by her to get tickets from him to go with her friend.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a
Not
shit
cool.
plan.
Yeah, not cool.
But then when he's like, I'm wearing her out, I'm like, all right, dude, it's hard to root for you now. Like, she fucked you over.
Yeah, he's the most unremarkable man alive, you know?
Like, the minute that happened, the minute she was like, can I bring a friend? He should have been like, I'm just going to go with my buddy Charlie.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the late, great Richard Jenny.
Yeah. Richard Jenny. You know how I know that Richard Jenny died? And how he died?
How?
Because when I used to watch this, my dad would always say, like he always does, he'd be like, killed himself. I'm like, all right, just trying to watch this funny movie, but
I found out Richard Jenny died because back right after it happened, my dad and I, they aired one of his specials on Comedy Central, and my dad and I sat down and watched it. And then afterwards, it just popped up, Richard Jenny, 1950 to 2007 or whatever. And we were like, oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
But he comes walking over. He calls Stanley Ipkiss out for being pathetic. And he's like, come on, I'm going to take you to the club tonight.
Yeah, well, to jump back to the beginning real quick, as soon as I hit play and the score started playing, took me back immediately. I didn't know that score was embedded in my noggin.
This score doesn't stick out like that for me.
You know,
This score to me just kind of sounds like very generic 90s score, which a lot of 90s score was trying to be Danny Elfman's Batman score.
Sure, I enjoyed this score, but I think it could be because I watched this every day, 8 times a day when I was a kid.
The score is not bad at all. It just doesn't do anything to me.
Yeah,
it doesn't make it move, you know?
Oh, weird. It's like how like a smell can bring you back. It was like that, but with a sound.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
Tina Carlyle, played by Cameron Diaz, comes into the bank, and Charlie is on her like a hound. She definitely realizes he's a creep because she gives him her jacket and asks Stanley Ipkiss for help. And then Charlie, like, sniffs her jacket.
Yeah, he does.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's like, dude. Dude, you're at work, my guy. There gotta be cameras. What are you doing?
Not only that, that's just a weird thing to do, man.
Yeah, of course it is. But to do it out in public, that shows, like, this guy must have power because no one's like...
Well, it's the 90s, you know?
Oh, yeah. Andy used to do that all the time. He used to walk through the elementary school just sniffing people's jackets.
In the 90s?
Yeah, that's what I said. You're in elementary school.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're just walking through sniffing people's jackets because you watched The Mask.
Yeah, I learned it from The Mask. I learned it from you, Richard Jenny.
Like, it's weird, but it's not that weird because you were a kid. He's being a weird kid.
Yeah, it's just he'll grow out of it. Hopefully.
It's weird when you do it now, though.
Oh, yeah. I haven't grown out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tina Carlyle wants to open an account, but she has a camera in her purse. She flirts with Ipkiss as the camera cases the joint. Ipkiss is absolutely crumbling at the sight of her because he puts like a marker in the pencil sharpener.
Yeah. It's good stuff. I like how he's just like fumbling over everything.
Yes.
He's like, ladies.
Well, they talk about his tie, and she's like, it's like an ink. Rush out.
Yeah.
We meet the bad guy, Dorian. He's watching the camera. He's planning a heist. He's talking to this guy who calls himself the Doctor. He keeps being like, the Doctor is in.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, dude.
Yeah.
Because he goes, hey, what's Nico going to think about this? And Dorian's like, give a damn what Nico thinks about this.
Oh, gosh darn.
Yeah.
He pokes his eyes out with the cigarette on that photo.
Yeah, and then he puts it up to his face and like talks in it.
Yeah, and the other guy's just immediately he's like, all right.
Oh, if you're willing to make jokes, we're cracking jokes.
Yeah, but
you
like
must be
before
confident.
before that, he's like, I don't know, man, that guy rules the city. He's like, yeah, right. He's like, okay, I'm with you.
That's a great point. Ipkiss goes to pick up his car at the mechanic, but the mechanic is clearly screwing him over. This scene is a lot of fun. First, you get these two goons working on the car, and the guy goes, hey, what is this? He goes, I don't know, about $700.
Yeah. I noticed the mechanics are listening to Pagliacci, the sad clown opera.
Okay.
It's like, you know?
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I was like, why are they playing that while they work on cars? That's very strange.
I love the loner thing when he goes, get the loner. He goes, the loner?
The loner. Yeah.
It's so good. And then Ipkiss pulls up to the club in this jalopy. I love everyone's looking at him, and he just goes, it's a classic.
Yeah. I like how it all looks very, something about this movie, a lot of it looks like classic Hollywood. Like the sets, like even the mechanic shop, it's just like a dark room with cars in it. Like there's not, it all looks like a set, but it's not taking me out of it for some reason, you know?
I think that's because that's the universe that we're in here.
Yeah, it's like comic booky, yeah.
We're never once supposed to think, oh, this is the real world.
Yeah.
And I think that ties into Charlie being such a creep at the beginning and like sniffing that jacket.
Yeah, it's a
That's
little
just a
cartoonish.
world. Yeah, that's just a world where men sniff jackets of pretty
Yeah.
ladies, I guess.
Yeah.
And to your point, I think the sets that they build actually add to the world, and everything is this big, either super colorful set piece or totally dark, grimy. Like, this is a gross city.
Yeah.
You know, everything kind of looks wet all the time.
Yeah.
I think this movie, the look of this movie, holds up really well 30 years later.
I agree. I think all the CGI is like really, really well done.
Yes. I think there's only maybe like one or two scenes that today you're going, it doesn't look great. But for the most part, it's looking really, really good. Because I really love the look of the club when we get there. You know, this very bright Coco Bongo Club, they call it.
Oh, yes.
Clearly
Yes.
a play on the Coco Cabana. And Ipkiss gets left behind as Charlie and some ladies go into the club. Ipkiss tries to go in, and the bouncers throw him onto this gross street.
They just like drop him on his hip.
I love it. It's just so old school of like the bouncers literally throwing a guy out.
Yeah.
Tina Carlyle pulls up, and then the valet pulls up with this shit car. I'll take it, but I'm very angry.
I'm upset.
That's really good. As Ipkiss is driving home, the car breaks down on a bridge. And it makes sense. But then he like kicks it and the whole thing falls apart.
And he's just like, fuck.
Which is further proof we are literally living in a cartoon world.
Yeah.
He thinks he sees a man drowning in the water. He jumps in and it's just a bunch of garbage. But you know what he finds, Andy?
What does he find, Robbie?
The Mask.
Interesting.
And you know what the name of this movie is?
What is it?
The Mask.
Interesting. Do you think there's a correlation there?
I think so. I think this is the titular mask.
Very good.
Thank you.
I like how he is drawn to it. Like there's something pulling him to it.
Yes, absolutely.
That's cool.
Ipkiss gets home and he's like stomping up the steps. Is this his landlord, I guess?
Yes.
Because first of all, why does she give a fuck how late he gets home?
I don't know.
2, it's fair for her to yell at him for ruining the carpet.
Sure. She calls him a nothing man.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. Rude. Like he is a pretty unremarkable fella. But you don't gotta tell him.
That's true.
He's clearly had a night, like
he's sopping wet in a suit.
Yeah.
And it's not raining out. So, kind of a break.
Yeah.
When Ipkiss gets into his apartment, he turns on a tape of old cartoons, furthering that this is a weird universe because it's 1994. There's television.
Yeah, I had tapes like that though.
So did I. But it's weird for a man who's in his 30s to come home, and he even makes reference later on. He's like, I should stop watching so many cartoons. It's like, is that all you watch?
I mean, I watch a lot of cartoons still. I'm in my 30s.
But you're not just putting on VHS tapes.
That's true.
Like in the 90s, if you went to a guy's house, it's one thing if he has the tapes.
Yeah.
But if that's all he watches all day long, it's like, all right, this is a little weird now. Because these aren't like, it's 94. These aren't even like modern 80s cartoons. He's watching like the old school wolf howling at the singer.
Yeah, Tex Avery wolf. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's dying laughing.
I mean, that shit's funny.
Oh, it's funny. But like, you would have thought this was the first time he's ever seen this bit before.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just recently discovered that HBO Max or just Max, whatever the fuck, they got not all of it, but a lot of old Looney Tunes on it. And like sometimes when I'm like in between shows or whatever, I'll like throw some of that on, and it's takes me back, brother.
Yeah, that's fine. I do that too, but it's not all I watch.
No, no. I watch that and hentai. I just love cartoons, man.
We meet Ipkiss's cute pup Milo.
Breeze past that.
We meet his cute pup Milo. Milo plays frisbee. We get some great dog acting by Milo in this.
Yeah, this is top tier dog, Hollywood dog stuff.
He's awesome. Max the dog. Ipkiss then puts on the mask. I sure hope he washed this thing first, because you pulled this out of a clump of garbage in the river.
You're gonna catch something, brother.
Yeah, you're gonna get gonorrhea of the eyes.
That's, I mean, maybe I don't know.
I like the scene as he sneaks down the hallway because he sees the sign on his landlord's door to tell everyone to be quiet, and the clock just jumps out of his suit.
Yeah.
So he pulls out the giant mallet and he's just smashing the floor and the wall, and then the woman just comes out with a fucking shotgun.
Yeah. She pulls out like a fucking blunderbuss. Like an elephant gun.
And she just opens fire. She's like, I ain't fucking around.
Yeah. And I don't really blame her. If there was like a crazy man with a mallet just smashing up my house, I'd probably do something about it.
I don't blame her either. It's just funny to me that for protection, she has a shotgun.
It's like right at the door.
Yeah, and not like a handgun that she could just easily grab and start shooting with one hand. Oh, you'd probably need two hands. But but she has a full-on shotgun instead of a handgun or a revolver or something.
I don't know. They do say a shotgun is best for home protection, home defense.
Real quick, thank you so much for listening. If you want to send us some feedback, send us an email at roydsreview@gmail.com. That's ROYDSREVUE@gmail.com.
You could also find our music on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your music, by searching The Royds. That's ROYDS. We have 2 albums and a Christmas song. Hope you like it.
You're living in a small apartment building. Like, you're clearly close to everybody.
Yeah, no, I don't fucking know.
That's another question I have. Questions. Are they the only 2 people who live in this building? Because we don't see anybody else coming in or out of it. The police don't seem to be questioning anybody else when they're there later on.
That's true. It's the world's smallest apartment building.
I mean, I'm starting to wonder if it's just like a home she owns, like a townhome she owns, with a spare bedroom.
Yeah. Because he really just has that one room.
Yeah, which also doesn't make sense because he's a banker.
Yeah. I don't know.
It still looks really good when he bounces around the hallway out the window.
Yeah, and I watched a thing about the special effects. They like include smear frames. So like in cartoons, when something's moving really fast, they have like a frame where it looks like it's smeared. Like if you pause it at a certain point, if they're moving really fast, it'll be a very weird, like their eyeball will be like on the other side of the frame, but like it works in motion. And they did that with the CGI. I think like the CGI people were like really inspired by the cartoons that the whole thing's inspired by. It makes it look good.
Absolutely. This looks really good. It's funny because I hadn't seen it in a while. There was part of this nervousness, like, okay, how is this going to look?
Yeah, held up.
Yeah, held up really, really well. He goes outside. He's chased into an alley by some goons. He starts playing with the balloons. He makes a giraffe, and then he does the poodle bit where he goes, "Sorry, kid, it was rabbit. Had to put it down."
Yeah. Well, before that, he like a car stops and honks at him, and he like
Yes.
blows the dude's O-ring out with the fucking got a big like little horn that makes a huge sound, and he blows the dude's like eardrums out and like the windows of his car, and the guy just drives away. I thought that was a little weird.
I think he wants to communicate.
Yeah.
And the horn on it, it says, "Please press gently."
Yeah.
And it turns into like the mouth and stuff, and he yells out, "Ooh, God." That's good
Yeah.
stuff. That is
Yeah, it's
just
classic.
really good stuff.
I like how well when he's doing the balloon animal bit, and he does, sorry, it was rabbit. I had to put it down. It's gold. But then he gives one guy something, and he goes, "Now get out of here. You bother me."
Yeah.
Not you're bothering me, but you bother me. That's funny.
It's so good.
He
Well,
also
then he
pulls
makes-
out a used condom.
Yeah, that's kind of gross.
Yeah, what are you doing, man?
And then he goes, "My personal favorite, a Tommy gun. That's a working
Yeah.
Tommy gun."
Yeah. That's good stuff.
And then he goes and sodomizes the mechanics.
Yeah, he does.
He takes like mufflers or whatever.
I like how right before he does that, he makes a speech like, "With these powers, I can save the world. But first," and then he sodomizes the mechanic.
Ipkiss wakes up. He's convinced it's all a dream. That's where he says, "I gotta lay off the cartoons."
Yeah.
We meet Lieutenant Kellaway, Peter Riegert. He's really fun in this movie.
Yes.
He questioned,
Doyle.
I loved that. Doyle, when they're handcuffed together.
Yeah.
And then he does it twice. He questions Ipkiss about the break-in from the night before. And then before Ipkiss leaves for work, he throws the mask out the window, but it flies back in because it's just drawn to him, or vice versa.
Good Lord.
That's where we see the aftermath of the mechanics. They're pulling him out, and the one cop's going, "I need a proctologist down here,
Yeah.
stat." We see a reporter, Peggy Brandt. She's at the scene with the mechanics. She then goes to speak to Ipkiss about his car. She's trying to get Ipkissed.
Nice. Yeah, she validates like the shit out of him. She's like,
Yeah.
Most girls would be lucky to have a guy like you. And he's like, "Wow, I thought I was a piece of shit, but look at me. Wow."
This sets up the twist towards the end really well.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming, even though I've seen this movie 1,000 times.
I also wrote that she's clearly trying to get Ipkissed pun before I saw later on when a guy makes a pun using Ipkiss's name.
Yeah. That's all right. I forgive you.
Thank you.
But can you forgive yourself?
I'll never forgive myself. This is the last episode because I'm going to blow my fucking brains out.
Holy shit. Jesus.
This next scene is a scene that has stuck with me from when I was a child.
Oh, with the golf?
Yes, it used to scare the shit out of me. The idea of someone hitting a golf ball from my face.
Apparently, they really did it, and they used like a professional golfer to do it. And his reaction is genuine.
Ugh.
Yeah, because he's like, "Jesus fucking Christ," as you would be.
Yeah, that's terrifying. That for some reason that's always scared me.
And it's really intense for a movie that's like, is this a family comedy? Like, I don't know. It's like a kid's movie in the 90s. Like, they're always like, this is for everybody, but it's like pretty like dark and weird. Like the 90s and some of the 80s had some of that shit,
See, that's the thing. I would not say this movie's for kids.
I would, because I loved it when I was a kid. I don't think it's for kids now.
I just think in the 90s, parents were a lot looser with what they let their kids see. And then they would get mad at the media companies for putting it out.
Yeah. There's definitely more of that than...
I think that's why a lot of films today, there are things that are very clearly for children, and there are things that are very clearly not for children.
Right.
Because when I was a kid, like this came out in 94 and I was just watching this on VHS right when it came out, basically.
Same. I mean, I don't know. I think lately, by lately, I mean like the past 20 years, like you said, there's a very clear divide. Like movies for kids don't have the edge that they used to. Not that they need it, but like they used to have like that weird edge like this and like other movies that I can't think of.
It used to be art.
Right.
You know, now it's just they just churn them out in a factory.
Yeah, but I would also argue that like the big releases like for kids movies are still genuinely good. You know? Like most of the Disney animated stuff, it's good.
I don't know, man. Some of it's good.
I mean, Moana, great. Encanto, great.
I think the songs in Encanto are great. I think the movie's okay. But the songs
Sure.
are what's dragging it. But like other than the musicals,
I don't
like
know,
Luca's kind of a boring mess.
Oh, I loved Luca.
Mm.
I loved Luca. I love pretty much anything Pixar makes, honestly. I didn't love Finding Dory though, but that's like a shameless sequel, you know?
Yeah, they're doing a lot of those now.
Well, that's because
Toy
apparently
Story 4.
their movies don't make money anymore, so Disney's like, make sequels. And they're like,
Apparently,
okay.
I haven't seen Wish yet, but apparently that was a mess.
I didn't see. I put it on for my class, and then I checked out. So
Nice.
but I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of movies because I'm a second grade teacher, so I'll put on movies. For the most part, I think they're pretty good. There's one on Netflix. Is Lin-Manuel Miranda? He's got his hands in everything.
I'm good on that shit.
The music was fire though. I was like,
count
shit.
me out.
It's about a little monkey, and he sings.
I could go the rest of my life with never hearing another song by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Well, you're not going to, Robbie.
That's a shame.
He is like any animated movie. They're like, well, we got Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, I know. That's a problem. That's part of the problem.
Yeah, I
and that's
could
not
agree with that.
Listen, I need to stress something. It's not like he's not talented. He's an incredibly talented dude. He's a great musician. He's a good songwriter. It's just like Disney just uses him over and over again. It's like, this sucks. Stop.
Yeah. But he had bangers. I mean, Moana, he did Moana. Bangers. Did Encanto. Yeah. Bangers. He did that monkey movie I was just talking about. Forget the name. Bangers.
That's fine. But it's part of the problem. When you just
use
when these corporations just use one person all the time.
Well, it's classic corporations like, oh, that worked. Let's just do it again and again and again and again.
But this would be like if after Elton John had success with The Lion King, Disney was just like, all right, and now Elton John's going to do Tarzan and he's going to do Pocahontas.
Well, to your point, Elton John has done a lot of soundtracks for animated movies. They just never lived up to The Lion King, Yeah,
but they're also it wasn't just Disney's the biggest animated Disney and what's the other one? DreamWorks, I guess.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're the only one. No one's releasing musicals. Disney's the only ones who's releasing musicals.
The other ones like Blue Sky or whatever, or Illumination, whatever.
Are they doing musicals or
Yeah, but they're like jukebox musicals.
Yeah, and those fucking suck.
I don't know. They're not bad. I watch them.
I fucking hate jukebox musicals.
I'm not into it either, but the movie itself is pretty funny and fun and fine. Yeah, it's fine. That's what it is. It's like forgettable.
Yeah, I could turn my brain off for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
and then every now and then you're tapping your toe because they're playing a song you recognize.
Right.
It makes no sense in the context of the movie you're watching.
Right.
But that's why these movies do well, because people are like, oh, I recognize this song.
That song. Yeah.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
It does suck.
That's why I was so pissed off when I saw the second Joker movie was a jukebox musical.
Is that official?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
You got fucking Lady Gaga. You pay her whatever she wants, and have her write you 9 songs
Yeah.
for the fucking movie.
That's so stupid. That's like, wow, you're doing something different and you're doing it bad. Wow.
That
Stupid.
sucks.
Yeah. But
Hey,
my point,
what are we talking about?
The Mask. My point being, The Mask, it's for kids, but like not really. You know?
That's why I don't think so. I think what happened was they made a movie based on something that is not for kids. By all accounts, and I haven't read it, but the Mask comic book is not for kids.
No, it's not.
And so now you've translated to the big screen, made it PG-13.
Is it PG-13?
Yeah.
I thought it was PG.
But then they pulled back on a lot of stuff, even for the early 90s on this, for a PG-13 movie.
Well, PG-13 back then was like still for kids, you know? It was like, hey, you could see this, but, you know, maybe have an adult with you. Like now PG-13 is like, I mean, it's kind of the same thing because all the Marvel movies are for kids, but like 12 and up, you know?
13 and up, Andy.
That's true.
You've always had difficulty with ages.
Robbie. Robbie. Well, I mean, it's a very horny movie. You know, like he puts the mask on and he's just like, I'm a horn dog, brother.
Yes, he is. I think that's because that's what he is in real life.
Yeah, he's just repressed. And the mask,
he just,
like,
his apartment's just a goon cave.
Yeah, probably.
It's just
I'll
a
bet there's
smelly
some
goon cave.
There's some socks in there as hard as the Rock of Gibraltar.
Jesus Christ. Ipkiss has a dream. It's just replaying his previous interaction with Tina outside the club, but he's being really cool this time until she starts flicking his ear.
Weird, but then it's Milo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my wife, to quote my wife, she said, the way Stanley feels when he puts on the mask is how she feels when she takes off her bra. Just truly free.
Cool.
Yeah. And she starts spinning around.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, that's how she feels, huh?
You're knocking shit over. Can you stop?
Yeah. Just sit back down.
I'm trying to watch a movie.
Because Ipkiss becomes the mask again. He gets ready for the going to the club. He got the hair dryer and shit.
Yeah.
And he realizes he has no money and he can't make the scene if you don't have the green. So he goes and robs the bank before Dorian's men can.
Yeah. And then the cops show up and they just immediately open fire.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Fair enough. Nobody's hitting anyone in this movie.
Well, the one dude.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know how you know it's a movie made in the 90s? Is the one black dude and he dies.
Yeah. Well, no, hold on. The mayor's also black.
That's true.
He has like a scene and a half. He has like 2 lines.
Yeah.
The Mask's stretch limo is amazing as he pulls up to the club.
Yeah, it's like 40 feet long. It's great.
We see Tina Carlyle sing. I have a question. Questions. Is this Cameron Diaz singing?
It is not.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Andy.
I mean, I could look it up.
If you're going to just know off the top of your head, you should know.
Robbie.
It's me?
I'm not IMDbus.
It's Susan Boyd.
Huh. Susan Boyle, huh?
Nope.
Wow. Famous opera singer from American Idol or whatever, right?
Okay. All right, we're going to keep moving, I guess.
Hold up. You remember when, like, she broke and everybody was like, wow, look at this ugly lady. She can sing. How weird is that? It's like, not weird at all. Also very rude. That is a person you're talking about. Remember that?
I don't think it was that she was ugly. She just looked like nothing.
She had no reflection. She was a vampire.
No, it's just like, it's kind of like, all right. It's kind of like Donald Fagen. Like, if you didn't know who Donald Fagen was, and this guy just walked onto a stage with a piano there, and you were like, what the fuck is this? And then he just started playing the piano and singing Steely Dan songs. You'd be like, all right, this weird dude is pretty good. And he sings like a freak, but he sings like a weirdo. Freak.
I mean, he's got a definitely a recognizable voice.
Yeah.
You know?
That wasn't the best example, but like, I don't know. I think it was because she just looked like nothing.
Yeah, she was just a lady.
Yeah, so I don't think it was that everyone was calling her ugly.
I feel like that's what I remember. That's what I remember when that happened.
I just think everyone was stunned because she walked on stage and there was no flair to it. You know, so many people go on that show, and because I think it was America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent or whatever it is, or the X Factor or something.
I've never watched any of those shows.
And a lot of times in these talent shows, people walk on stage and they have a lot of like flair and all these bells and whistles. But this was just a little Scottish woman who just walked on stage and just started belting.
Yeah.
So I think that's what more of it was. It was just kind of like surprise that like this woman who looks like she just like, you know, worked her 40 years and retired.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, she could do this though.
Yeah.
While Cameron Diaz is singing, Tina Carlyle is singing, nobody seems to notice that there's a green-faced human in the back. He's turning into a wolf and shit.
Yeah, nobody like questions him the way they should. Like they're only like questioning how he acts, but they're not like questioning his appearance. Like,
yeah,
look at this man's teeth.
His teeth, but like his heart starts beating out of his chest at one point, and no one says a word to him. Like, no. Get that man to a hospital.
That man is a cartoon. All those visuals are very impressive, though.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
To pull that off in 1994 with a human being there is great.
It's incredulous.
Very good. The Mask then decides he's going to dance. Again, nobody questions it when he spins the drummer around and changes the man's outfit completely.
Yeah, they're just like, all right, let's play this song. The dancing is very impressive.
Oh, yeah, the dancing's good. He gives her a big old smoochie.
Apparently, a lot of that was actually Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz.
That's pretty impressive. Even when he threw her up in the air and she spun a bunch?
No, that was not. Whenever it was up, I read that whenever it was like overhead shots, it's not them, but everything else, it's them.
I mean, that would make sense because a lot of the overhead shots he was like picking her up and spinning her and shit,
and like giving her a tombstone.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
you heard a gong right afterwards.
Yeah, it was fucking nuts, brother.
Insane. The doctor, he's like, oh, I'm dying. He dies, like you said, the only black guy.
Yeah.
And that's when one of the goons, he's like, hey, that's the guy who stole the place before we did. And he's like, all right, I'll go kill him, I guess.
I liked how he was like, who did it? And he's like, that guy. Like, he's just here. And Dorian, I loved this scene. I loved like when his goons go to shoot him. All this is fucking gold. He's just Bugs Bunny.
This is the only scene where the CGI gets a little wonky. When he's like pulling and like bending and stuff.
Yeah. They just stretched it, you know?
Yeah.
It's clear.
But no, I'm totally with you on this because I love when he gets hit and the over-the-top death scene. The actor who plays Dorian, Peter Green, plays this so well.
Yeah.
Because first of all, he's totally over the shtick.
Yeah, immediately he's over it.
But he's just letting it happen.
Yeah, and the henchmen too.
Yeah. And
like I like how he's like he keeps coughing because he's dying, and then like he keeps pulling away to cough, and then he like pulls away and then pulls back and coughs right in his face. That's so fucking funny to me.
And at one point when he's coughing and they show Dorian and he's just disgusted at his open mouth coughing. But then the cameras come out to give him the award. And I love this because as the Mask is like accepting the award, did you notice Dorian? Because he notices the camera and then all of a sudden he starts standing up really straight and like checking his hair and making sure he looks good for the camera.
That's great. That's a great addition, you know.
Yeah, he's really, everyone is playing their role in this movie really well.
Yeah. Yeah. But the tie that they shut off turns into pajamas.
Yes.
And that tips the what's his name? The detective.
Yeah, Lieutenant Kellaway finds the piece of pajamas that were shot off.
Yeah, and he's like, I know those pajamas. And he commented on them earlier.
Yes.
He said, like, those pajamas are something. So like ridiculous or some shit.
Yeah, he insults him. You're the only moron who would wear these pajamas or something
Yeah.
like that. He says also, because he goes to see Ipkiss in the morning, and I love all the bags of money falling out of the closet. And then Ipkiss tells Kellaway that his pajamas were stolen.
Yeah, they were stolen. He's like, somebody stole your pajamas. He's like, yeah, weirdest thing. Yeah.
I mean, what kind of world do we live in when a man's pajama drawer is not safe?
Yeah.
Dorian offers $50,000 to any goon who could bring him the mask. And then I really enjoy this scene where Ipkiss is an hour late to work, and before his boss can chew him out, he chews his boss out.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And his friend is like, oh, what got into you? He's like, I don't know. I haven't been feeling myself lately.
Well, Richard Jeni has the great line. He says, I don't know what side of whose bed you fell out of this morning.
Well, see, because Dorian says, I want this guy dead, you assume that when Cameron Diaz shows up, she's setting him up.
Yeah.
But she is not. Interesting.
Now, like I said before, the twist is really well done.
It is very good. And, didn't see it coming. I assumed, I even have in my notes, I say, your girl is setting up the mask to get shooted by Dorian.
You use the term shooted, huh?
I wrote down shooted.
What do you do for a living?
Starts with a T. Words are hard, Robbie.
I know. All right. And this is what school district?
Then we get Ben Stein.
Yeah, well, before that, we have Charlie offers Ipkiss a ticket to the ball on Saturday.
Yes.
And then that's when Tina comes back in and she's like, I can't open an account. And for some reason, that's when Stanley's like, let's go talk. And he goes, you didn't come here just to see me, did you? And it's like, when did she give that impression?
Yeah.
She came in and specifically started talking business.
Yeah.
Like,
and you were like, what's really going on?
Yeah, this doesn't matter. What gave you the impression she wanted? Okay. And then he goes, you want to see the mask again? She's like, I do. I'm like, this is weird. This is really weird.
Yeah, it's weird because she's flirting with Stanley, but she wants the mask. Does she know? No, right? Maybe she does.
That's the thing. It's giving the impression that she knows.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it's never really clear on that.
Yeah.
Ipkiss tells Tina that the mask and him were college buddies and that he taught him some dance move. And they set up a meeting at the park at sunset. Why not just give it time? 6:15.
Yeah. Weird.
We'll meet at the park at 6:15. 7 sunset. Well, now I have to look up what time sunset is.
Yeah. And this is the 90s.
Yeah, that's a lot harder to do.
You know what's weird is that he sets up this plan with this girl that he's clearly like he likes her.
Yeah.
And then immediately he goes to Ben Stein and he's like, how do I get rid of this? Or like, can you explain this or something? Yeah,
like, he doesn't seem like he's trying to get rid of it. He seems to just want to know. And I really like that Ben Stein is like, oh, this is a crazy person.
Yeah, he's like, what does he say? Tells him that the book uses masks as a metaphor, and what Stanley is suffering from is dry eyes. I wrote it down.
That's so stupid.
Isn't it?
It took me a second, then I was like, oh yeah, he used it in the fucking Clear Eyes commercials.
Dry eyes.
And then Ipkiss was on a game show trying to win Dr. Newman's money. I'm sorry, no. You don't remember the show Win Ben Stein's Money?
Oh, that's right. Holy shit. Holy shit.
See, I can also make Ben Stein references.
Wow, that's about it for me.
And then Ipkiss learned how to be a presidential speechwriter from Dr. Newman. See,
Yeah, there
I
you
can
go.
also make Ben Stein references, Andy.
All right. Dude's pissed.
Newman speculates that this mask is the Norse god of mischief, Loki. I'm warning you, I'm not scared of you, Mr. Ipkiss.
Yeah.
That's so
he
good.
puts it on and just dances around the room.
You're like, ah.
Yeah.
If I answer your question, do you promise to leave right now?
Yeah. But then he like tells him the truth. He's like, hey, that's just the real you. You know?
Yeah, Ipkiss goes, can you see the real me? Can ya?
Doctor! Yeah.
This is where we get the first Doyle, because Kellaway and his partner are following him, and he goes, all right, get in the car. He goes, do you have the pickle relish? He goes, get in the car. I just ordered onion rings. Doyle!
Yeah.
Did you catch the name of the park that Ipkiss and Tina meet in?
No.
It's called Landfill Park.
Nice.
Because they say when they're sitting on the park bench, it used to be a landfill, and they're looking at the colors, and Laura goes, are they looking at the Aurora Borealis? An Aurora Borealis. This time of day. No. And I was like, no, listen. Because I had to rewind it because she actually spoke over the line. And Jim Carrey goes, yeah, the methane gases really brings out all the colors.
Yeah, then he so he puts on the mask and then he turns into the mask and he says
he comes back as fucking Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, and he says, I will reveal my croissant.
I will divide and conquer.
Yeah, like Napoleon before me, I will divide and conquer.
He also goes, shoot the door, shoot the window, I don't care.
Yeah. He says, I will spread your Vichy soir. You can't say that.
That had me dying. Oh, man. And then he gets arrested by Kellaway and Doyle.
Well, they tell him to freeze.
Yes.
And he freezes. And nobody is like, wow, this man just defied everything I know about the world we live in. They're just like, search him. Like, what? Why is nobody amazed?
At that point, my gun would go down and I'd go, I'm off the force.
Yeah, I've seen things I can't unsee.
Like,
This
we're
man froze
done
in
here.
midair. Yeah.
The mask reverses the handcuffs when he does all the slaps. He goes, that's gotta hurt, or whatever he
Loved
says.
it. I love a good. It's so good.
And then the reveal that they're handcuffed to each other. He goes, Doyle!
Yeah, classic. Then we get 3 different dance numbers in one scene.
I love this Cuban Pete dance.
I used to love it, and this time I was just like, because it's just out of nowhere. I did like how he runs, he opens these giant doors, he closes them, he locks them with everything he has in his pockets, and he turns around and it's just all the police on Earth.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit. And then
every other crime can be committed in this city right now.
Yeah.
Because the entire police force is here.
Yeah. As this dance number was going on, it just made me think about what even is this movie? You know, what am I watching right now? Like, it just made me question the existence of this movie. Like, I'm having a good time, but what is this?
It's an remember, he's obsessed with cartoons. So this iteration of Stanley Ipkiss, everything he does is inspired by all the old cartoons he used to watch. And this ties into Bugs Bunny doing shit like putting on the fruit hat and dancing around to escape Elmer Fudd.
Yeah.
All right, sure. It's just that. That's all this is this man becomes a living cartoon character.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's literally what this is. And that's, I think, why I enjoy it so much, because the only people in this movie who seem to not have any idea what's going on are Dorian and Kellaway.
Yeah, because he's like running through after, like he jumps the fence and then he's running through. He's like, snap out of it. Snap out of it. Like
Well,
he's the only one unaffected.
They're coming over and Doyle goes, oh, not bad. He goes, shut up and help me down.
Yeah.
And then he starts dancing. He goes, you start dancing, I will blow your brains out.
I'll fucking kill you.
I also really like the female cop in this when she starts singing. And I always love a good, someone's body's getting taken over and they don't realize what's happening.
By the dance.
Yeah. And she starts singing and she's looking at her arms and she's pointing the gun. It's good stuff.
Yeah. It's just like I forgot all about that part. And I was like, whoa.
You forgot about that part.
I did. I forgot about it. And then, like, as it was happening, it was bringing me back. And but then just an existential question. What even is this? Like, how did this get greenlit is really, like, who was like, this is a good idea? And, like, it turned out it was because it's a big hit. But, like, who was like, yeah, this will work?
I think this is Dark Horse Comics, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they get bought by DC before this movie comes out?
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know when.
Well, I think what happened was, I think this is just following the success of Batman, because you could see a lot of the Batman imagery in this movie. You know, the city's pretty dark, you know, but they took that and turned it into this guy who likes cartoons, and they turned the mask, instead of whoever wears the mask being this murderous dude, it becomes, they become an extension of themselves. They become an exaggerated version of themselves. So that's why this guy has just become all this living iteration of all the cartoons he watches. Because apparently this guy just sits at home all day watching cartoons.
Yeah. And probably cranking hog.
Oh, man.
Well, I feel like the blood was in the water in 94 for Jim Carrey. Like, everybody was like, this guy's about to blow up.
Yeah.
So I think they wrote this movie with him in mind. And they were like, this is like, you are a living cartoon character, so this is for you. And he was like, I do love cartoons. Because he does.
Yeah.
You know? And
well,
I think it's a perfect storm, you know?
You ever see the bit? I think it's here, and he goes, hey, here's Wile E. Coyote after he gets crushed by an anvil. And he puts a harmonica in his mouth, and he takes these big, exaggerated steps.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's who he is. He loves that shit.
Yeah. He's good at it.
And in this movie, he got to do all of that.
Yeah.
Ipkiss removes the mask, and then Peggy Brandt shows up. The police are shooting at him as he avoids all the bullets and jumps in the car. And then Doyle goes, I missed him.
He's like, we all missed him. Well, like, why? Everybody's real trigger happy here, because, like, why are you shooting at this random person who picked him up? That's too much.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I think they all know everyone has horrible aim, and you're not going to hit anybody.
Yeah. But
these guys may as well have been shooting straight down.
Yeah, might as well, yeah. Becky? What a twist.
What?
What a twist.
Did you say Becky?
Yeah, is that not her name?
Her name is Peggy.
Where'd I get Becky?
I have no idea.
I'm sticking with it. Becky?
No, hold on. Now I need to double check to make sure I didn't. I thought her name was Peggy Brandt.
I thought it was Becky Brandt.
I'm looking it up.
He's looking it up.
It's Peggy.
Where'd I get Becky?
I don't know. That is not something I can answer for you.
Huh. Peggy?
Nah.
What a twist.
I have a question. How did Peggy know Dorian was there? She says no before they open the door.
Yeah.
Because he goes, do you really mean that? She goes, no. And then the door opens. But there is no indication that she had learned they were there.
Yeah. Also, how'd she know where to pick him up?
I don't know. I'd imagine the local news was covering the fucking green-faced man leading a conga line of police through the city.
That's true. That's true.
Dorian and his goons take Ipkiss hostage. They're going to kill him. Dorian puts on the mask and he lets out a fucking Road Warriors reference here. He goes, "What a rush."
Yeah.
And
I
you
did
can't...
like the storm cloud that like forms above him and like engulfs him. That's good.
Yeah, no, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
But you can't say "what a rush" like that if it's not a Road Warriors reference.
Yeah.
You can't do... Oh, that's such a bizarre reference to throw into this movie.
Here's a question. Is that the same actor? Masked Dorian?
I have no idea.
Because he's like buff.
I have no idea.
I do.
Okay, what's the answer then?
So Peter, right? Peter
Peter
Green.
Green.
Okay, played the. I had it, and now it's gone.
Andy, it's a yes or no question.
It is not him.
Okay, there we go.
Sorry.
Fucking
Peter Green plays regular Dorian, and then like two other actors play masked Dorian. And
what is it, like a fucking horse suit? One guy plays the top, one guy plays the bottom?
Oh, one guy plays the guy, and then another guy did the voice.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, interesting, and also pretty spooky design. I remember that spooking me when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like it.
Yeah.
One of Dorian's goons uses Ipkiss's name as a pun to threaten him. That's where, yeah, we got the "Ipkiss your ass goodbye."
Yeah.
Milo chases after them, and then the goons drop Ipkiss off with Kellaway. They throw him in jail, and Milo's all sad out the window. I don't like it.
Yeah, and he chases him.
Yeah.
The cops have seen this man's otherworldly abilities when he wears the mask, like firsthand. They've seen
Right.
it. And they don't believe that the mask itself gives you powers because it gets dropped off by Dorian with like this rubber mask.
Yeah.
And then they just throw him in a cell and put the sleepiest guard known to man to guard him. One guy. This man froze in midair. And you're going to put one guy to guard him.
This guy's so sleepy that as Tina is screaming outside, he doesn't hear her.
No.
Even though you can very clearly hear her inside the station.
Yeah. And he's like, yo, do your job. And he's like, yeah, right. What the fuck?
Yeah, the cop goes right back to sleep.
Yeah. I don't know.
We see Dorian threaten Tina, and then Stanley gets Milo to jump into his arms, and Milo takes the keys from the cop.
That's some A+ dog acting.
It's so good. I also like that it's a callback to earlier when he's like, Milo, help me find my keys.
Yeah. It's good.
Stanley takes Kellaway hostage after stealing the other cop's gun. He goes, "You'll never get out of here like this." He goes, "Oh, you know what? That's a good point." It's like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Also, he says, get the keys, and he gets a piece of cheese.
Yeah.
He's like, not the cheese, the keys. I was like, that's good dog stuff, you know?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. We get to the ball, and Dorian shows up, puts the mask on, and kills Nico. This is really fun when Nico shoots him a bunch, but then he just like spits the bullets back at him.
Yeah, that's good.
Dorian ties up Tina, is going to blow her up. And then Ipkiss gives Charlie a gun and tells him, sneak those people out of here. I like Charlie's like, what are you doing here? I was like, do you have time for this? Like, shut the fuck up.
I'm the mask, idiot. Also, just an observation. There are a lot of ponytails in this movie.
It was the early 90s. Everyone that you wanted to portray as like a goon would just have a ponytail.
There's that one guy who just has a ponytail. Shaved head, just a ponytail.
It's cool. It's cool, guys. He's not bald, I guess. It's a way he could say he's not bald.
I guess.
Milo gets out of the car after Dorian sets the timer on the bomb, and we get Kellaway going, that's a clever dog.
Yeah.
Tina asks for one final kiss, and as she gets it, she kicks her foot loose and kicks the mask away, and it just kind of floats in the air until Milo can get to it.
I thought that was a really cool shot. Like,
yeah,
it's floating in the air, and like everybody's jumping, and they can't reach it. And it's like, again, it's like otherworldly. It's like, no, you ain't getting this.
Yeah, it's very clearly choosing who it's letting catch it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Milo puts the mask on, and he wrecks some goons. This is a lot of fun, Milo with the mask on.
Yeah, and also Ipkiss fighting Dorian.
This is so funny.
Like, he punches him like 1,000 times.
Well, when Dorian is on top of him and he goes, how are you going to celebrate? With one eye. And he pokes him in the eye. And then when he's punching him, he goes, I'm winning.
And then he gets punched in the face. Yeah. Good stuff.
He picks up the mask and it gets shot behind the counter. Ipkiss jumps up as all the goons are firing their machine guns. And we got the, did you miss me?
Yeah.
I guess not. As all the fucking orange juice spills out of his body.
Yeah. Here's a question. When you wear the mask, are you immortal?
I think so.
Pretty cool.
Because earlier on, he fucking flattens onto the street and then just pulls himself up, which is really cool because his eyes like stick first and then pop back.
Yeah.
He eats the bomb so that it doesn't explode. And then as Dorian is approaching the mask with a gun, he draws a flusher onto the tree and flushes Dorian into where?
I don't know. I honestly forgot how this movie ended, and I did not see that coming. Like, because he just gets the mask and he makes short work of everybody. Like, he eats the bomb, which is like, what? And then, like you said, he draws a flusher and flushes the bad guy down a toilet. Didn't see that coming. I don't think I could write that. That's what? That's how you ended your movie?
That man is gone forever.
Yeah, I guess.
And then
also,
Ipkiss,
when he pulls the mask off, the special effect of his face getting like stuck to it is incredible.
It looks so good. I also like how you could tell when he's pulling it off. It almost starts to transform. They worked in the wood pieces of it. So it starts to look like the wooden mask. It looks really good.
It's incredulous. And then they smooch.
That's good. And then Ipkiss gets away with everything just because the mayor saw Dorian wearing the mask.
Yeah.
Even though Dorian got flushed down to nothingness.
Yeah, I didn't see that, I guess. I don't know.
And then, the next morning, Ipkiss is going to throw the mask in the water. And Tina's like, I'll do it for you. Oof. That's me throwing the mask in the water.
Now that's her being like, I don't love the mask. I love you. You know, you were the mask. Like, it's, wow, he's finally validated.
I like it. It's nice.
Yeah. And then your boy jumps in after it.
Yeah, he chases after it, but Milo won't let him have it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Should we go to Letterboxd?
We should.
Ultimately, the CG really holds up in this movie. I think it looks really good.
I agree.
We get great dog acting by Milo.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey's good in this. I think the almost forgotten highlight are the cops in this because Doyle and Kellaway are really good together.
Yeah.
Peter Riegert and what's the other guy's name? I just had it up. Jim, Duan, whatever his name is. Detective Doyle and Kellaway are really good together.
Yeah.
A con for this movie, I think it was the catalyst for the swing revival in the 90s.
Could be.
But I think this is really good. I would give this movie 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I mean, I think it holds up. I think the comedy is, it's hit or miss, but it's mostly visual gags, and I'm all for that. A note that I forgot to say was who was the big boss? Not Dorian, the guy above him.
Nico.
He didn't speak much, but in that scene with the golf thing, I had to run it back 2 times. I can't understand what that guy's saying. It was a combination of an accent and a speech impediment.
Yeah.
I was like, weird choice. But yeah, 3.5 stars I think is appropriate.
We've done it. We've just rated The Mask 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. You can follow us on Letterboxd at TheRoydsBand. Wow. I have 4 trivias.
I have 3 trivias.
That's amazing. Should I go first?
Probably.
What is the name of Ben Stein's book in this movie? Our Masks, The Mask and Me, The Masks We Wear, Masks on Masks on Masks on Masks.
It's The Masks We Wear.
It is The Masks We Wear.
Wow. How many hours did it take to apply the mask makeup on Jimothy Carrey? 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, or 5 hours?
I'm going to say 4 hours.
You are correct.
Wow. What type of car does Stanley Ipkiss own? Is it an 89 Civic, a 91 Accord, an 88 City, an 87 Integra?
It's an 89 Civic.
It is an 89 Civic.
Yeah. Who was the original pick to play Tina before they found Cameron Diaz? Was it Pamela Anderson, Anna Nicole Smith, or Carmen Electra?
Pam Anderson.
No, it was Anna Nicole Smith.
Cameron Diaz was the better choice.
I agree.
When Nico the mob boss plays golf off of Dorian's face, how far does the golf simulator say the ball would have gone? 120 yards, 135 yards, 195 yards, 205 yards.
130. What was it? 9?
There was 120, 135, 195, 205.
I say 135.
No.
195.
No.
205.
Yes, 205 yards.
I've done. This movie was nominated for an Oscar for Best Visual Effects, but lost to which movie? Was it Forrest Gump, True Lies, Speed, or Stargate?
Was it Forrest Gump?
It was Forrest Gump.
That's interesting. Did the voters not see that whole John Lennon segment of that movie?
Yeah, if you look back at Forrest Gump, most of it, with the special effects, doesn't look very good.
It's also not as impressive as this one.
No, they're not doing anything outrageous.
The mob boss, Nico, has a new club he wants to break in on Dorian's skull. What club is it? A pitching wedge, a 9-iron, a 3-wood, a 5 hybrid.
The second one.
I'm gonna need the name.
You got to say it again then.
Pitching wedge, 9-iron,
That one.
3-wood, 5 hybrid.
I'm sorry. 9-iron.
Yes, 9-iron.
I've done it.
Very good. Very good.
You know what else I've done?
What?
I writ me a song.
So did I. I have a pick to flip.
Well, then flip it, Robbie.
Call it.
Heads.
It's tails, Andy. How do you feel?
Lord, why have you forsaken me?
You can go first.
Wow, thanks.
No problem.
My song is called Nothing Man, because that's what his landlord calls him. And this is a pretty weird song, because this is a pretty weird movie.
Agree.
Yeah. So, this song's called Nothing Man, and check it out. It goes like this. That's my song, Nothing Man.
I really like that. I thought it was good.
Well, thank you. So, I wrote that main riff like high school. I think I showed it to you too, like a long time ago. Yeah, and originally I wrote a song in like 7/8, and right before I was gonna record yesterday, I was like, I ain't doing that. That's too much. So I pulled this one out of my tushy, and I for some like I was fucking around with the keyboard, and for some reason I started playing that bridge, and I was like, well, I got to put that in, and it was the hardest part because I can't play keyboard like that. So like I had to fucking do it 1,000 times, and I was like, God. You know when you do something so many times, you like forget what it even is. You know?
Yeah.
It was like that, and then I did the guitars afterwards, and I did like all the verses, and I skipped the bridge. I was like, I'll do that last. And then I like put the guitar away, and I'm like, all right, let me do vocals. And I was like, oh, I didn't do the fucking bridge with the guitar, so I had to pull that out again, do it again, and then when it came to the vocals, I realized that I only left room for half the verse each time, so I had to rewrite the kind of melody I had. I had to squeeze words where they didn't go before. It was a whole thing. This song took me 6 hours.
Nice.
And I was like, mother of crap. But you know what? I kind of like it. So, time well spent, I guess.
I thought it was good.
Thank you. Just a note, the choruses are, he's like, I'm a nothing man, I ain't shit, all that. And then the last chorus, he's like, hey, I'm not a nothing man. She loves who I am. So I'm the new Stan, because his name's Stanley. I almost said Kubrick. Stanley Ipkiss. So yeah, that's my song. It's called Nothing Man. Robbie, tell us about your song.
My song is called Somebody Stop Me, because that's what The Mask says.
He does say that.
He does say that. He does say that quite a bit. And so here's my song called Somebody Stop Me.
Looking for release down in Edge City. Girl walk in the bank and she looking so pretty. Blonde hair, red lips, and her legs so long. Her heart's beating like the drums in a swing song. She loves my tie, it's a Rorschach test. I wanna leave an ink blot on her chest. Laughing at cartoons that are playing on the telly. Landlord's angry and she's getting all yelly. Gotta pick up my 89 Civic. My mechanic is charging me something horrific. Left behind as my boy walks into the club. Collecting all these losses, I really need a dub. God, mischief, low-key. Somebody stop me. Jump into the water and I find a mask. Gonna put it on, no questions asked. For my clock on my pants and I hit it with a habit. Cracking jokes, making faces, I am a shtick. Spam a spin, 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 spin. Sodomize the mechanic, I finally got a win. Back into the alley and I'm playing with balloons. Making time and gun and I blessed all the goons. Got a yellow suit and a hat to boot. Break into the bank and I steal all the loot. Can't make the scene if you don't have the green. One of my balloons was filled with cream. God, mischief, low-key. Somebody stop me. My heart leaves my chest and I transform my face. I'm spinning in the bank, the club, and my place. A green complexion and a toothless smile. My wardrobe and my moves never go out of style. Put on the mask when it turns to night. Let out a laugh and I bounce out of sight. Breaking all the hearts when I hear that swing. Shooting bullets out my mouth, I am the dance king. Jump out the window, I'm flattened on the street. Human roadkill, comic book me. Everything I do with flair. I don't know what it does and it makes me scared. God, mischief, low-key. Somebody stop me.
So that was my song called Somebody Stop Me about the mask.
I like that.
Thanks. Yeah,
I like that bass line.
Thanks. I originally wanted to try to do something that was like swing-ish because everything in this movie was like swing. And when that failed, I was like, I'm going to do a dance song.
Nice.
So that's why the choruses are very like EDM and like dance inspired.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's where I pivoted to. When I couldn't really get the right sound for like horns and a brass section, I just pivoted to making a very 90s club dance song.
Yeah. Exotic dinosaur mustard EDM.
Very good. I was very confused at what you were doing.
Yeah, I saw. That's why I said EDM.
I was like, I have no idea. Well, once you said dinosaur mustard, I went, oh, EDM. But you said exotic, and I went, I have no idea where this is going.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I enjoyed that song. It was good. I also like I want to put an ink blot on her chest. I thought that was funny. Talking about Hume.
What?
Hume.
Oh,
You know?
okay. Yeah, cumin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bust dust.
Oh. Well, what we got going on next week there, Robbie?
Next week, we're doing The Rock.
Derek The Rock Jackson?
Nope. We're doing the movie The Rock.
Jeffrey The Rock Stevenson?
You know what I'm wondering?
What are you wondering?
If you understand that next week we're doing the movie The Rock.
Oh, with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
So
wonder.
Not Jonathan The Rock Apfelbaum.
Very good. I wonder next week how many jokes like that you're going to make.
Oh.
And how many times I'm going to say things like The Rock, The Doc, The Sock.
Listen, if you like dog shit, tune in next week. Because let me tell you, we're going to be farting dog shit out of our mouths.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's an image.
Yes, it is. Andy, where can they find our music?
You go to Spotify, you go to Apple Music, you go to Deezer if you'd like, and you can find a plethora of music by the Royds.
You go to Deezer if you please her.
Very good. Whether it's podcast songs or songs we had professionally recorded. But also if you want all of the songs, every single one, go to TheRoyds.bandcamp.com where you'll find over 200 songs, as well as guest songs. Robbie, the socials.
You go to Instagram, you go to Threads, you go to TikTok, you go to X, you go to YouTube, you type in the Royds Band. There we are. You might even be listening to this podcast on YouTube at the Royds Review Podcast. If you are, leave a little comment below, give us a like. Regardless of where you're listening to this, give a 5-star review. We greatly appreciate it.
Yes, we appreciate all of our listeners. Thank you so much.
But send us an email. Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
Send us an email at roydsreview@gmail.com. You can make a request or just give us some feedback. Tell us to go F ourselves. And Jeff ourselves. Who the hell is Jeff, Andy?
I don't know, but once I find him, gonna F him.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, no
With
judgment,
consent.
I guess. You just
With consent, of course. I'll ask him. Like, are you trying to F? Next week, The Rock, starring Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery, a Michael Bay film. I remember liking it. We'll see.
Glock. I've never seen it.
I think you're in for something.
I'm going to watch the best of The Rock on the WWE Network.
Oh, you mean Carl The Rock O'Shaughnessy?
Very good. All right, bye, everybody.